What's up, y'all? Y'all know it's me, the one and only Radiant K, aka KK, aka the one and only Jairi. I hope everybody is doing good, amazing. I hope everybody is just full of love and expressing gratitude and all that wonderful, loving, high vibrational stuff. Keeping God first as always. So as you can see by the title, living in an answered prayer, like noticing, focusing, well, just noticing and just being grateful, honestly. And well, you focusing on the little things, honestly. But anyways, living in an answered prayer. Y'all, I just want to say thank you to everyone on my journey thus far, whether we still talk, whether we don't talk, whether we're not friends anymore, or I cut you off, or whatever the case, we just, whatever. Just thank you to everybody, because, you know, the journey is the journey, and the journey is filled with lots of love, losses, lessons, and blessings. And well, you know what? I always say I never take a loss. It's never a loss, only a lesson. So for all the love, the lessons, and the blessings that I've learned and gained and experienced or whatever on this journey of mine. So yes, living in an answered prayer. How did I get here? Man, God is good, God is faithful, and I just, once you build your relationship, you know, building your relationship with God, and gotta understand that building your relationship with God is always, it's ever going, it's everlasting. Like, man, it's gonna show up every single time, whether you notice it at that point, at that moment, or not. So, if you don't know, I was living in Atlanta for the past like 5 years or whatever. Great city, you know, I learned a lot. I really learned a lot, and I noticed a lot too. And one thing I noticed about Atlanta, not speaking bad on the city or whatever, but Atlanta is a city that makes you feel like you have to be more or more grander or further along than than you are in life, and that can cause like mental, for me, I'm speaking for me, that can cause like mental, like battling, a mental battle with yourself, because it's like, oh, you know, this, I remember just walking downtown one day, me and an old friend walking down town or whatever, and at the stoplight you saw, like, you know, the cars, but at the stoplight you saw like Benz, Mercedes, Benz, BMW, and then you see like one or two Hondas, you know, or, you know, a little low vibe, I'm gonna say low vibration, a little, forgive me, a little low, I call them a little luxury, cause car is a luxury, period, but a little, you know, everyday looking car, like a Honda, or, you know, Nissan or whatever. But then you'll see like all these, you know, fancy cars. I was just like, dang, like, Atlanta is a city that really makes you feel like you have to be of a top status. And, you know, at that moment, like, I'm a country girl, like, like, I'm a city but a country girl. Like, I love country gardening and stuff like that. But, you know, I like to get cute, go out to the city, party, whatever the case may be. I love like the fast during the day, like the fast, but at nighttime, no, I need to be off to the side, hearing the crickets. That's just me. But it's definitely a city, in my opinion, that's like that, you know. And like when you're trying to start anything, you know, it's almost kind of hard not to compare yourself to what you see. Then for me, it's also a trendy city. I'm not a trendy person. Y'all who know me know that K is not trendy at all. I don't care about no trend. I don't care about what's in style. I don't care. I'm just truly authentically myself. And I like what I like. I'm gonna wear what I wear. And it's gonna be a vibe every single time, okay? Cause, you know, it ain't the clothes that make the fashion, it's the person that makes the fashion. I always say, I don't wear clothes. Clothes wear me because they already know. Oh, but no, I really like to, it's art and I love art. But anyway, so about a couple years back or whatever, and y'all know, if you know, you know, when you got your relationship with God and you there, y'all here, and you pray that prayer, Lord, please remove anything, anybody out of my life that's not supposed to be there, that doesn't serve my higher purpose, or, you know, remove toxic things, reveal to me my enemies and my frenemies. I'm telling, happens every single time. That ask you shall receive. Happens every single time. But I also pray along with that was like, God, give me the heart and the mind to understand and to release and to, you know, let go with love and this, that, and the third. So that was my prayer. And I prayed that prayer for like a week straight, honestly. And things happened. I started seeing folks' real colors, true colors. You know, you start to notice what you didn't notice before, like the sly comments, the looks. You start to notice you reaching out to people more. Certain people want to reach out to you for a certain reason. And then you start to see how people react to you versus react to somebody else. And, you know, just a lot of things be really, and some people just come out straight out and it's just like, okay. But, you know, give me the heart and the mind to deal with it, to let go in love and peace. And, you know, so that's what I did. And then, as you also know, when I started my YouTube, I started doing my Empire Talks. Go back and watch the 2 episodes that I have up. What's so crazy is that I still need to finish the season. I think I'm gonna have to do like 4 more episodes for season 1 because I think I only have like 4 people or 4 things that I want to talk about, or 4 people, whatever the case may be. So I think I have like 4 more episodes coming. And but you know, your girl moved and everything, so it's still gotta be on hold. But 4 more episodes coming for that, and then I'm gonna start working on season 2. Well, honestly, I already got season 2 kind of planned out, but start getting season 2 together because, you know, just bigger and better things. But and so I wanted to, but y'all know I wanted to do my YouTube and everything like that. If you know me, you know that I've been wanting to do YouTube for a long time. When YouTube first came out, me and my little sister, we actually had a YouTube channel. And we would do like little skits and stuff because, come on, we about to do this. But that was me because I loved it. Like I love the way that it was a way to put your content or just be creative It's like a platform where you can just be creative. And back then, I didn't care if somebody watched it or not. Like, it was just me. Even now, like, I mean, I hope everybody watch it because I hope I say something to inspire people or whatever the case may be. Because that's where I am mentally now. But starting off, it was just like, this is a way for me to just do what I want to do, the way that I want to do it, and be me. Just show me who I am. Just show who Kay is and what Kay loves to do. And if you can't tell by now, I'm not really afraid to get in front of the camera. And I like to edit stuff and production, TV, movie production stuff. I love doing stuff like that. Like, I used to write scripts, poetry, like very artsy content creator me. That's like the core of me. So I love fashion. I love art because it's art in every single way. Art, building things. I do like building, like with wood, like woodworking and stuff, building things. Yes, I plan to build a multitude of things. Honestly, I'm thinking about building me a dinner set. But anyways, so about a couple years ago, about 18 months, a year and a half ago, whatever the case may be, you know, I'm praying, this, that, and third, but I'm also like depressed because I had an issue with putting myself first, and then on top of that, I was under somebody else's roof. So I'm not really comfortable when I'm under somebody else's roof. Like, yes, I'm comfortable because, you know, I'm grateful and I'm thankful, but to really truly be who you are, because, you know, sometimes you can see where you're like intimidate others, and you know, so you try to like vary it or whatever the case may be, but you know, that's when God like, you don't dim your light for nobody else. That's one thing we don't do. That's one thing you don't do. If you know you gotta like shine your light as bright as God tell you to, as bright as God have you shining. You do not dim your light for anyone, anybody, any place, anything, at any time, nowhere. Be you. The light too bright, they can put on some shades. If the shades don't work, that has nothing to do with you. And you know, I had to figure that out. Like, you know, that really has nothing to do with me. Like, me being myself and being your authentic self, you know, rub somebody the wrong way or whatever, that has nothing to do with you. That has everything to do with that person, you know? So, not F them, but, you know, I don't really say F people, but I say F people. But it's with love, you know, it's like, you know, with love or whatever the case may be. But anywho, I was praying, I prayed, and then one thing that I wanted to truly do was get back and be with my baby. Like, as a mother because at first I didn't want kids at all, but once I got pregnant and I had my baby, it was just like, this shit alright, you know? Nah, it was like I love this person, and you just want to give this little one that was like flesh of my flesh. Like, I just wanted to give her the word, and I wanted to be there. And you just have so much in your mind that you want to do with your child, and it's like, you know. And it's so crazy because I just said I did want kids, but when I ended up pregnant, I was just like, well, if I have a child, I want a boy. Ended up getting a girl. Blessed with a girl, and she is every bit of me. I love it. You know, she got some of her daddy in her, a lot of her daddy, especially when the attitude. Honey, I thought I had an attitude, but this girl here, But anyway, anyways, but, and I just wanted to, you know, be with my daughter. And, you know, when me and my ex divorced or whatever, it was like I was getting every other weekend, this and the third, but every other weekend don't amount to, you know, every day and the things that I miss. Granted, when I did leave, I already knew that I was sacrificing a lot, like leaving her here or leaving her with her dad. And, you know, I did it because I was not financially stable. I was like, I was not financially stable. I was not mentally stable. Like, I just wasn't stable, like, at all, whatsoever. Like, I was blowing wherever the wind was taking me, and I didn't want her to struggle with me. I know it may sound cliche, but I did not want my baby to struggle with me, because I knew that, and it's so crazy is that you don't know, but it's like, you don't know what the future holds, only God does, but it's like, I knew I was gonna struggle. I didn't know what struggles I was gonna encounter, but I knew I was gonna be struggling. So, like, every other weekend, let me tell y'all, it was a point where it's not funny. I was thinking about my cousin, because I told him this story, honestly, like the whole rundown, and he was just like, whoa, you're not gonna speed past it, like you didn't just say what I thought you just said. But I told him, I was just like, you know, just telling my story. Even now, like, when I divorced or whatever, when we divorced, I was suicidal. But I was, you know, making it every day. I was trying to, you know, keep my faith up, do everything that I need to do. And I really, during my divorce is when I really started building my relationship with God. And when I say my relationship with God, I mean my relationship with God, because I feel that a lot of people have a relationship with the church. A lot of people have a relationship with religion, but people don't have a relationship with God himself, you know. And that's just how I feel. That's just my opinion. Because if you had a relationship with God, 9 times out of 10, a lot of the things that you do, you wouldn't do. You know, like, anyways, off that, get your relationship with God. You know, I'm thankful for the relationship that I have with church. I'm thankful for the relationship that I have with religion. But find your relationship with God, because not everybody's relationship with God is different. And I tell people that all the time. Your relationship with God is different from this. Because I feel like with religion and like relationship, or, you know, like religion and spirituality, whatever you want to call it, is that it's like planting a seed. And when you plant the seed in the ground, religion, it's just like, you know, you over the seed and you praying. You know, you just praying for God to move and do this, that, and third. And yet he will. But baby, it even states in the Bible that faith without work is dead. So you can pray, but then it's like when you have a relationship, you know, with God or whatever, you and him, it's like, okay, you know that you have to, yes, okay, God, I'm planting the seed, I'm going to pray or whatever, but I'm also going to do what I need to do to help this plant grow as well, because I can help it grow, but to grow to the magnitude that it's going to grow, that's all God. You see what I'm saying? So, baby, plant your seed, you can pray, God move, God going to send rain, he going to send this, he going to send that, yes. But also, it's up to you to go in there and take the weeds out. It's up to you to go in there and, you know, water on the very hot, scorching days. You know, faith without work is dead. But anyways, so a relationship with God is where all that came from. But I just really lost my train of thought, so I'm just gonna jump back. If I said this already, then so be it. But yeah, so that's okay. I know what I was at. Boom. So after my divorce, whatever, moved out, this, that, and the third, I was struggling, I moved into an apartment, got evicted, a townhome, got evicted, which I'm not I'm not afraid to say it because, you know, I just feel like it was all a part of the journey to get me to this part of my journey to where I am now. So I got evicted. I remember me and my one friend, my sister, my cousin. Shout out to you, Aisha. She's like my best friend. We're cousins, but we're more like sisters and best friends. That's we here. And so we moved I got storage, moved my stuff into storage, this, that, and the third. So I was keeping all my stuff in storage, this, that, and the third. Then I lost all that stuff, y'all. Like, because I couldn't pay my storage. Like, I was like a month behind. And when you went behind, you couldn't make a payment, you had to pay it in full. And I just didn't have it to pay it in full. So, lost all that stuff. It was the first time I lost all my stuff. And, you know, I'm just like, well, dang, what am I going to do now? This, that, and the third. So, went back home. Stayed there for a little bit, but then there I was like, wasn't it? Cause I'm not the one, you know. It's like for folk to kick you while you down, but you don't really tell people what's going on because you know it's not going to be very sincere. It's only sincere to get your business, and then run and talk. Yeah, no. So, excuse me, had to cut all that off. So it's like. In that moment, it was like, looking back, it's like, that's the moment God was like, you not gonna, nobody but me. Nobody but me. And I see that now. But in the moment, it was just like, dang, now I gotta do this by myself, you know? And it's like, getting through this by myself. Even when I thought I was by myself, I really wasn't by myself. But, you know, how you just in that mindset, that mind frame where it's just like, you know, this ain't doing it for me. This ain't doing it for me. I feel like God done put me on a back burner, you know, and turned the eye all the way off, honey. Like, nothing. No ham, no Pam, no spam, no turkey, none of it. You know, it was like, dang. So it's like, you know, I gotta, you know, get to where I can by myself. So all of that push come to shove. I get a little bit of stuff. Everything I had was in my car. I lied to you not. Everything I had was in my car. I had a couple bags of clothes. I had a bag of my baby clothes. You know, a bag of toiletry, like blanket, pillow. Everything I had was literally in Bentley. And so I got to the point, I got to Atlanta or whatever, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful, you know, for the lessons and blessings that happened in these last 5 years in Atlanta or whatever the case may be. And I'm thankful and grateful for the people that was placed in my life in Atlanta because, you know, you try to do things on your own, but God always has a ram in a bush. Always. Whether you see it or you don't when you're in that particular moment. 9 times out of 10, I don't feel like we see it because we have so much more going on in our mind. You know, you pray and everything, and then you have to meditate on the word so you can hear from God. You know, meditation is all about being in the present, clearing your mind so the messages can flow through and stuff like that. So, with all of that being said, grateful for the lessons, grateful for the blessings, grateful for the progress and the self-knowing and the self-fulfilling that I learned or that I gained in Atlanta because, Atlanta is one of those places. It's one of those places that just make you, in my opinion, it's just one of those places that make you feel like you have to be like on this star-studded level, you know, on this whatever type of level, higher than what you are, then if you're not there, it's like, well, damn, what am I not doing? This, that, and the third. So it definitely helped me with my pursuits of a lot of things, but it's just like you're pursuing at whose pace, because the tortoise ain't beat the hare by trying to beat the hare. The tortoise just did his journey, did what he did, and he won the race, right? Period. So, while I was in Atlanta or whatever, I would get my baby every other weekend. So it's about 4.5 hour drive over there. So we would meet at this spot, like halfway, literally, every other weekend. And I would get my baby, and I was homeless, y'all, like, no lie. Like, I had a job, I had other money coming in. Like, I had a stable income, then a job income, whatever the case may be. It's a job. So, which I was grateful for, whatever. And, but I didn't have a roof over my head, y'all. Like, so every weekend, like every other weekend, I would get my baby. I would, like, hey, you want to go here? Or, like, before talking, like, oh, you want to go to see so-and-so? You want to go see? So I would, like, drive somewhere and then stay the weekend so we can have somewhere to stay and food. Because it lined up perfectly, because I would get her on the weekends that I got paid, and I had 2 meals. But when you don't have a lot coming in, and with a child, and you're trying to be mommy of the world, it's stressful. It takes a toll on you in a way, because it's like they don't know, but that, oh man, this coming up. But for me, I was very good. I started being very good at paying my bills on time. With paying my bills on time before, a couple days before they was due, because, baby, if it was one thing that I wasn't going to lose communication of, that was my phone. So I can talk to my baby, because my baby has been my saving grace. Like, I always say, she's too young to know that she's my lifesaver, but that time when I was after, like, my divorce, and during that little period when I was just mentally out of it, when I wanted to unalive myself, like, seriously, and I had, like, a dream. It was like I was up, but I was, like, sleep, but I was up. I don't, going in that stage, wherever it was. And it was just like, well, what are you doing this for? And it was like, how will everybody else feel? Like, and at that time, I'm just like, I don't really care how nobody else feel, because don't nobody care how I feel. Nobody don't really care how I feel. And then it was just like, my baby, she was 2 or 3 at the time, or whatever. And she was 2. Anyways, 2 or 3 at the time. And then it was just like, I saw her, like, and it was just like, well, do you love her? And I was just like, yeah, I love her, and just like, well, how can you hurt somebody that you love so much? Like, even though she didn't understand, but every day your baby's looking for you, So, like, at that moment, I chose to live, and I chose to live for my baby. And I feel like God did that, because I didn't feel like living for myself. So, but to have something to hold on to, God was just like, God, I'm ready to be with you, Well, my belief was that, if you unalive yourself, you don't really be, but I don't know, because my beliefs have changed a little bit. So, but at that time, I believe you unalive yourself, you will go there. So I was just making I was making my peace with everything, y'all. Like, when I say making my peace with everything, I was making my peace with everything. Like, I started calling home, like, every day, you know, just making mama laugh, making mama, like, but that night, it all, and then it was so crazy because the next day, my baby came over or whatever, and after that, he came and dropped her off or whatever, and we was like chilling. We had a good time or whatever, and then, you know, it's the little things that kids do, and she just like, we was doing something in the kitchen, making pizzas in the kitchen, and she just looked at me and she was just like, "Mommy, you the best." Like, well, you know how she could say it. And I was just like, huh? And she was like, "You the best. I love you." And she was like, "I love you, Mommy." And she just came and gave me a hug. And she wanted me to pick her up. She gave me a kiss. Y'all, I didn't cry in front of her, but I was just like, all right, God, I can't, no. Like, from this day, I have to fight out this mindset, fight to get, you know, wherever I needed to go. So I started getting every book, reading, like, every book, watching every sermon, like everything to just change. Started working out. Yeah, like, I've been off and on this training, working out stuff since about 27. So yeah, since like 2017, 2018. So it's like, working out is probably like a part of me, and it probably will always be a part of me. But, and yeah, now just like, you know, I gotta fight through that. So anyways, back to every other weekend. So I would just go somewhere. I was going somewhere the weekend I had my baby. And then my old friend was just like, "Oh, well, you know, I can move in with her or whatever." So I moved in, and, you know, because I kind of felt bad for moving in or whatever, because it was hard to get a job. I was overqualified for a lot of jobs that I applied to. Other jobs just didn't pick me, you know. And then the multiple interviews was really annoying. But I finally landed a job or whatever. And like I said, you know, it's going back and forth or whatever. But before then, I had left. And I went, I think I went to go stay because I had family there. And my cousin was like, you know, you can, girl, like, don't do that, we family, da 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 da. And then even with that, I left there because I had my daughter. A weekend I had my daughter and I brought her. And push come to shove, basically said he didn't like kids. Because all his kids was grown. He was like, you know, my baby wasn't allowed in his house or welcome or whatever. So I just left because if my baby can't come, I'm not coming. That's just me. We a package, baby. And, you know, so I left that, and, you know, it kind of hurt. It hurt. Other people say it hurted it. But now it hurt or whatever. It's like, damn. You know? But that's that. And then, I was took my daughter back, and then, y'all, for like a month or whatever, I was homeless. Like, nobody knew. I would go to work, I'd go to work, get me something to eat, probably like Waffle House or something, somewhere cheap, Waffle House. If I go grocery shopping, I would get like little things, you know, that stay in my car or whatever. I always drink water, So of course I had to get water. And like at night, I would either go to a truck stop, which was about a 20-minute, 30-minute drive, but they had the showers. So I could shower, or I would just sleep, or not just sleep, but I would go to like a Walmart parking lot, put the things up, sleep, or I go to a rest area, which was about 20, 30 minutes away, park my car, sleep, go in, wash up next morning, like early, so I can make it to work on time. But thankfully, I worked second shift. Sometimes I'll work first shift. And then I was working at a hotel. So when I started working at the hotel or whatever, like probably like the last 2 weeks or whatever, when I worked second shift. So, you know, whoever came on third shift or whatever, I would just go. I know we can't really do this, but whatever. I was surviving. So I would go and I would like, okay, well, this room checked out. You know, they didn't, you know, clean the room yet because they start cleaning rooms the next morning. So, or we only had like 1 or 2 people at night or whatever. So I would, you know, or if somebody moved the room or whatever, that room is considered dirty until somebody go in and, you know, look at it, change sheets or whatever the case may be. So I would go into that room and sleep. Seriously, have my shower, sleep, have my alarm set for like 6, because the shift came in at 7. Have my alarm set for like 6. Get up, you know, exit, get in my car. Then I'll go to my old friend house or somewhere, you know, and just chill until it was time for me to go to work. And I would do that. Like I was literally surviving. Like I was literally surviving. But the thing is, I was always, it's so wild to me but I was always grateful. Like I would still pray every night, telling God I know this ain't gonna last forever. And that I was grateful that I just wasn't like out on the street, you know, that I had a roof over my, even when I was in my car, it was like, I'm thankful that I have like a roof over my head. And it was a point where me and my cousin, we was like kind of going through the same thing at the same time. So we would be on the phone with each other, like, you know, she was in a whole different state, but we would be on the phone with each other like, all right, where you at, this, that, and third. And, you know, making sure each other was straight until we like fell asleep on the phone. As soon as we woke up in the morning, we'd call each other, you know, check on each other. And it was just wow. But, you know, it's like if I had some leftover, I was in it. You know, we just basically was taking care of each other. Like, crazy. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for that friendship. I'm thankful for, you know, that. And I ain't really want to tell nobody because of like pride and because of like you know, people only want to know your business because talk about you. And I experienced that like all my life, so it's kind of like, nah, I'm not doing that no more. But, you know, even in that moment, in those moments, it was like, looking back, it's like, okay, I might not have had what I wanted to have or been where I wanted to be, but at the end of the day, I still felt like God was sort of kind of making a way, because he just was, even though I was in my own way, even though I was like trying to do things myself, he still had your girl covered, you know what I'm saying? It was not a day, it's still not a day that I don't go by, and I thank the Lord. So anyways,